Life can change in an instant. One moment, everything seems perfect. Then, it all falls apart. In today's video, we explore a raw and real journey of heartbreak, growth, and reclaiming control. Let's get started. My name's Jake, and I've been married to Sophia for 9 years. We have 2 kids, Leo, who's 7, and Zoe, who just turned 4. On paper, we looked great. We had a nice house outside Lakeview, decent careers, and we'd never missed a mortgage payment. But if you paid close attention, you'd notice something had shifted. It started small. Sophia stopped sitting next to me on the couch, and texts that once said, "Love you," became K. She was working late more often, claiming her marketing team had taken on a new client, and that deadlines were tighter. I didn't think much of it at first. It made sense. But one Thursday, I called her office just to hear her voice. Her coworker told me she'd left early. That one stuck with me. Another night, I walked past the bedroom and heard her laughing, really laughing, through her phone. She didn't notice me standing there. I didn't ask who it was. I didn't want to be that paranoid husband. But I started watching her more closely, in silence, waiting for a sign. The following weekend, we went to a barbecue at our neighbor Mason's place. Sophia stayed glued to her phone the entire time. When I asked, "Everything okay?" she smiled without looking up and replied, "Yeah, just work stuff." Later, Mason pulled me aside. "You and Sophia doing all right?" he asked. "Yeah, why?" I responded. He shrugged. "She just seems somewhere else, that's all." That was the first time someone else confirmed what I was already feeling. But the moment that sealed it for me came on a Tuesday night. Sophia was asleep, her phone resting on the nightstand. I never went through her things, but that night, something inside me urged me to check. I picked up her phone and carefully pressed her thumb against the fingerprint sensor. It unlocked. I didn't even need to search. A preview message flashed on the screen. "Ryan, thinking about last weekend. Can't stop smiling." I tapped on it, but when I tried to open the messaging app, it asked for a passcode. She'd locked the app separately. Smart, careful, secretive. I put the phone down without a second thought. My hands weren't shaking, and I didn't storm out. I sat in the hallway for 20 minutes, breathing slowly. I made up my mind then. I'd pay attention, watch everything. But I wouldn't react. Not yet. The next morning, Sophia made pancakes, the kind with blueberries for Zoe, just how she liked them. She acted as if nothing was wrong. I watched her pour coffee, humming a song I didn't recognize. I said nothing about the message I had seen. Instead, I waited 2 more days. Friday night, after the kids were asleep, I told Sophia I needed to talk. We sat in the kitchen, and I stared at her, my voice steady. "Are you seeing someone?" There was a long pause. Her face didn't show surprise, just quiet tension. "I don't know what you mean," she said carefully. I didn't raise my voice. "I saw a message from Ryan." She didn't answer right away. Then she leaned back and exhaled. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." "We're just talking," she said, brushing her hair behind her ear. "It's emotional, okay? I needed someone to talk to. It's not physical, but it could have been." I waited for a moment before asking, "How long?" 5 months, she whispered. I nodded, the weight of it sinking in. "Is this why you've been pulling away from me?" She looked away. "I haven't felt like your wife in a long time, Jake. You've been checked out, always working, always tired. I needed something different." "And you found it in Ryan?" She closed her eyes. "I didn't plan for this to happen. He just gets me." I can talk to him. I feel seen. I didn't say anything for a long time. Then, I asked a single question. Are you willing to end it? She hesitated, her eyes drifting away. I don't know. I need time. No, I said calmly. You don't get time. You made a choice. So did I. She stood up, her face hardening. You're being dramatic. No, I replied firmly. I'm being clear. Without another word, she walked upstairs. That night, I moved into the guest room. I didn't sleep, not because I was angry, but because I was planning. The next morning, I made breakfast for the kids as if it was any other Saturday. Pancakes, orange juice, cartoons. Sophia came downstairs eventually. She avoided my gaze, muttering a soft, "Morning." I nodded in return, but nothing more. That afternoon, while she took Zoe to ballet, I stayed behind, waiting for the moment to come. I made 3 calls. First was to a family law attorney named Marcus Grant, referred by a coworker who had quietly gone through his own divorce the previous year. Marcus was calm, professional, and didn't sugarcoat anything. You need to protect yourself, he said, especially financially. Don't confront her anymore. Start documenting everything. The second call was to a therapist. I knew if I didn't get my head straight, I'd start reacting instead of leading. The third call was to my brother James. I needed someone who could watch the kids on short notice just in case things blew up. That night, after the kids were asleep, Sophia and I talked again. I'm not going to fight you, I told her. But I need to know. Are you ending it with Ryan or not? She looked frustrated. You're trying to corner me. No, I replied. I'm giving you a clear choice. You can't have both. If he means that much to you, I won't stop you. But I'm not staying married to someone with one foot out the door. I just need to say goodbye properly, she said, her voice soft. For closure. Closure? I raised an eyebrow. That sounds like an excuse to see him again. I'm not trying to be sneaky, she snapped, her voice rising. You're just being controlling. I stood up. If I'm controlling for expecting my wife to cut off the man she cheated on me with, then I guess that's what I am. She stared at me, tight-lipped. Look, I continued, my voice steady. If you want to be with him, just say so. Pack a bag and go. I'll figure out the rest. She didn't go, not that night. But something in her shifted, and something in me hardened. For a couple of weeks, things were functional. Sophia agreed to cut things off with Ryan. She said she texted him goodbye and blocked his number. She showed me the message, and I watched her delete his contact. I wanted to believe her, but people who lie once usually lie again. One night, about 10 days later, I walked into the laundry room and saw her phone sitting on top of the dryer lit up. I didn't plan to check it, but the name on the notification made my stomach flip. Ryan, miss you. That song you sent me. Still thinking about it. The contact name had been changed to Client Work. I walked upstairs, phone in hand. She was brushing her teeth. You still talking to him? I asked. She saw the phone and paused. That message came through old. It's not recent. I turned the screen toward her. He's texting in real time. Want to tell me again how this ended? She shut off the faucet. It's not that simple, Jake. He's helped me through a lot. No, I said firmly. What's not simple is raising 2 kids while their mother carries on a side relationship and lies to my face. I'm sorry, she said quietly. You're not sorry, I replied. You're sorry you got caught. The next morning, I had the divorce papers served. I timed it for after she dropped Zoe off at preschool. My lawyer said it was better that way. Less risk of a scene with the kids around. That night, our son, Leo, sharp as ever, asked, Why are you sleeping in the guest room again? I sat him down. Sometimes grown-ups don't agree on everything, but we still love you and your sister. That's never going to change. He nodded slowly. Is Mom in trouble? No, buddy, but we're figuring out some tough stuff. Later that night, Sophia said, "You didn't have to humiliate me." I looked her in the eye. You had your chance to be honest. This is the result. She didn't argue. I didn't waste time feeling sorry for myself. I started waking up at 5:30 a.m., lifting weights in the garage before the kids got up. I accepted a promotion I'd been avoiding, not because I couldn't do it, but because I didn't have the headspace before. I paid off a chunk of the mortgage early. Sophia noticed the changes, but I didn't offer any explanations. We were still cohabiting, separate rooms, separate routines for the kids' sake, until the legal side was finalized. The arrangement was tense but civil. We took turns cooking, kept things polite in front of the kids, and communicated through texts, even inside the house. No emotion, just logistics. One afternoon, I picked Leo up from school. On the ride home, he said, "You're happier now." I glanced at him. You think so? Yeah. He nodded. You're smiling more. He said, "You laugh more." He was right. I had started to laugh again. At shows, jokes, little things. Not because I was healed, but because I was no longer in the dark. Meanwhile, Sophia wasn't glowing like someone in love. She looked worn out, distracted. She started coming home later and didn't talk about where she'd been. I didn't ask. I didn't care. But I knew one thing for sure. If Ryan was still around, he hadn't stepped up. Not publicly, anyway. One night, while folding laundry, she said, "You know the kids are doing okay because of me, right?" I folded a shirt without looking up. They're doing okay because they've got two parents who love them, and one of them hasn't been lying for 6 months. She didn't respond. I kept going to therapy, pushed harder at the gym, and added 10 pounds of muscle. I didn't touch dating apps. I didn't flirt. I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. People started to notice. Co-workers, friends, even Sophia's sister Lily, who I ran into at the grocery store. "You look different. Better," she said. "Thanks," I replied, bagging apples. "I feel better." I meant it. I was winning quietly, and she could feel it. Our son's 8th birthday was coming up. Sophia and I had agreed on separate celebrations. I'd host mine the weekend before, and she could do hers on the actual day. Mine was simple. Backyard games, a cake, close friends and family. Leo had a blast. Told me it was the best day ever. That was enough for me. 3 days later, I found out from Lily that Ryan was coming to Sophia's party. It was being held at her parents' place, the same backyard Sophia grew up in. I didn't react, just nodded. "Did she not tell you?" Lily asked, a bit uncertain. "No," I said. "She didn't." Lily looked uneasy. "Thought you should know." I didn't say anything to Sophia. Didn't argue. Just made a plan. That Saturday, I was out running errands and decided to stop by around 10 a.m., 2 hours before the party was set to start. The kids were already inside with their grandparents for the morning. I walked around the side of the house and found Sophia and Ryan setting up balloons. The moment she saw me, her face froze. Ryan went stiff, holding a stack of paper plates like they were radioactive. "Jake," Sophia said, her voice tight. "You weren't supposed to be here." "I'm not staying," I said calmly, handing over Leo's wrapped gift. "Just dropping this off, and I wanted to say hello." Ryan tried to smile. "Hey, man." I looked at him like I was seeing through him. "Enjoy the party." I turned to Sophia. "Don't use our son's birthday to parade your new guy, especially when half your family doesn't even know the full story." She looked away. "You don't understand," she muttered. "No," I said. I do. You just thought I wouldn't show. That's on you. I walked out the way I came in. That afternoon, I went hiking to clear my head. My phone buzzed. Sophia, asking me to come back. Said Leo would miss me. I didn't reply. Later that night, Leo called. Thanks for the gift, Dad. It was awesome. Glad you liked it, buddy. He didn't mention the party. Neither did I. I had made my point. 2 weeks later, the divorce was finalized. I signed the paperwork on a Thursday morning and drove straight to my new place, a modest 2-bedroom house a few blocks from the one I used to share with Sophia. Quiet street, fenced yard, space to breathe. I set up Leo and Zoe's rooms first. Posters, blankets, nightlights made it feel like home before they even walked in. When they did, Leo said, "This is cool." And Zoe hugged her stuffed unicorn like it was Christmas. That night, we made pizza, watched a movie, and laughed like it was the most normal thing in the world. Meanwhile, Sophia tried to keep contact beyond co-parenting. She texted photos of the kids outside our agreed schedule, asked if I needed help furnishing the house, mentioned holidays. I kept it short, polite, cold. Once she said, "We don't have to hate each other." I didn't answer. Another time, she stood on the porch during a kid handoff and said, "You know I still care about you." I looked her in the eye. "You cared about control. You lost it." She never said it again. Ryan. He never made a real appearance after the birthday. From what I heard, they fizzled slowly, quietly, like a match burned down to the fingers. People around town stopped asking questions. They knew, or at least enough of it. Claire stayed friendly. Even her dad, who once gave me the cold shoulder, shook my hand at Zoe's school recital. 6 months out, I'd found a rhythm. Morning workouts, steady work, dinner with the kids, nights alone that didn't feel lonely. And one Saturday, while clearing leaves off the patio, Leo looked up at me and said, "You don't get mad anymore." I smiled. "Is that good or bad?" He shrugged. "I don't know. Just feels better. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need drama. I had my peace, my kids, and my future." Sophia once said she didn't feel like my wife anymore. She was right. And I'm damn glad she's not. I looked her in the eye. You cared about control. You lost it. She never said it again. Ryan. He never made a real appearance after the birthday. From what I heard, they fizzled slowly, quietly, like a match burned down to the fingers. People around town stopped asking questions. They knew, or at least enough of it. Claire stayed friendly. Even her dad, who once gave me the cold shoulder, shook my hand at Zoe's school recital. 6 months out, I'd found a rhythm. Morning. Workouts, steady work, dinner with the kids, nights alone that didn't feel lonely. And one Saturday, while clearing leaves off the patio, Leo looked up at me and said, "You don't get mad anymore." I smiled. "Is that good or bad?" He shrugged. "I don't know. Just feels better. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need drama. I had my peace, my kids, and my future." Sophia once said she didn't feel like my wife anymore. She was right, and I'm damn glad she's not. Thanks for watching. If you resonated with today's story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, you've got the strength to move forward. See you in the next one.